think they're peaking at the right time. I think a lot of guys are playing well over there. Obviously, you have Jalen Brunson, the head of the Snake, Karl Anthony Towns, but Mikal and OG are equally as dangerous. That's what we're starting to see. Josh Hart's a dog. We know them very well, and understand that, hey, it's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be, might have another game 7.
It's Donovan Mitchell last night with the crew from Prime. Knicks are heavy favorites to win the series at DraftKings Sportsbook, minus 265. They're also heavy favorites in Game 1 coming off a week of rest. Monica McNutt, you've covered the Knicks team all season long. You've sort of been keeping tabs, I'm sure, on this last week and a half off. Obviously, the rest will do good things for OG Anunoby, as it would for anyone who has a hamstring injury. What are we thinking about the Knicks heading into Game 1 tomorrow night?
They are rested. I think, Greeny, the thing that I've been most impressed with, and I'm on the record somewhere in our ESPN ecosphere saying that I wouldn't be impressed about the Philly series unless they went up 3-0, and they did that. And so I think when you look at the combination of what they are doing and the statistic that it bears out, and then where they are mentally, I have a hard time believing that a team that is rested and is as focused as the Knicks are would wet the bed in a Game 1 versus a team that just came off of a 7-game series with home court advantage. And so if OG Anunoby expects to be available and ready to play for Game 1, this team has been defending at a high level. I believe they can defend the Cavs. Their offense has been problematic. One thing from the problematic to other teams, not to them, they averaged 81 to 56 was the score in terms of points off turnovers versus the Philadelphia 76ers. If the Cavs are not holding on to the basketball, that is the formula in which the Knicks will dominate.
Winman, you're on your way here right after this show to cover the series for us, be in studio with us this week, which we're thrilled about. All arrows in Game 1 do seem to point in the Knicks' direction as far as all the advantages, the rest, and everything else. What are you expecting? Give us the keys that you'll be watching for as the series gets underway tomorrow.
The Cavs are just not a super defensive team. In fact, in the playoffs, they rank 8th amongst all the teams that made the playoffs in defensive efficiency. That's down where the Denver Nuggets were. Remember when Jaden McDaniels from the Wolves said everybody on the Nuggets is a bad defender? Well, the Cavs' defensive numbers are about the same. And the Knicks are awesome on offense. They're stressing teams out. When the Cavs got in trouble against the Pistons, they just double-teamed Cade Cunningham because they didn't fear the rest of the team. If they double team Jalen Brunson, there's all kinds of problems there, including Karl Towns. And so, to me, this is about, can the Cavs get enough stops to really give themselves an opportunity to let their star players win them the game? And look, this is something that the Cavs knew would be a challenge with James Harden. It's a gamble that they have actually won, as their offense has been very good. But boy, do the Knicks present a much bigger defensive challenge than the Cavs have seen so far.
They say styles make fights. How do you see the styles here? What do you see in the matchups?
Well, for one, we know that Cleveland is tested. 2 7-game series played at high stress levels, right? They haven't played a team as dynamic as the New York Knicks. He just talked about Cade Cunningham being the one offensive option compared to the Knicks. They can morph themselves into different versions of themselves. And then late in games, they can go straight to Jalen Brunson. They can eschew everything with the high post with Cat and go straight to Jalen Brunson, ISO, and go from there. For the Knicks, they haven't been tested in these 2 rounds. They've been blowing these 2 teams out, but these 2 are 2 very flawed teams. Philly had to deal with everything with Joel Embiid. Atlanta had no size to handle Karl Anthony Towns. So you're going to worry about not just the rest versus rust, but are either team prepared for what they're going to see tomorrow based off of what the first 2 rounds have shown?
Monica, you were squinching up your face there.
This is my guy. He's my brother for a long time, but I don't buy that at all. I think that's crap.
What
the
part?
Tested part. Like, I think for them, the test was that they woke up from the nightmare that they woke up from was the 2 one-point losses versus the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks. I'm getting my WNBA team mixed up. I don't think the test, to me, yes, in the regular season, there's a place for tests. But to me, when I look at a postseason run, it's about being able to play your best basketball, which they are doing, and have the opportunity to have the most legs and power underneath you that you can. I don't see where a 7-game series as a test is a good thing rolling up against a juggernaut.
I said for one, I picked the Knicks to win in 5. What are we doing here?
Well, let's do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't buy the test.
It's just, when he said styles making fights, that is the style of coming into this series. Cleveland is going to be wearing Detroit up until Game 2 of this series. They won't even be into this series until 2 or 3 days from now. The Knicks, they've been sitting and waiting and have time to fine-tune this offense, but they haven't played real competition. Philly wasn't real competition. They quit.
Winman, give me a quick final word.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I actually have seen situations like this where the team that has the rest doesn't come out very good and comes out a little bit soft, and the team with the rhythm does it. So Again, I know that this is not what an analyst is supposed to say. Please let me see the first quarter tomorrow night and then ask me how I think things are going to go.
Well,
First half.
I will give you that. You're going to get to watch it up close and personal. You'll be there, and ESPN will be the place that you can watch it. Game 1 is the East, and as you can see, the Knicks are actually by a slim margin, but still, at DraftKings Sportsbook, the Knicks are a heavier favorite to win their series with Cleveland than OKC is to win their series with San Antonio. And there's some reasons why that makes sense. San Antonio played OKC great all year. The Spurs don't have quite the rest disadvantage that the Cavaliers do going into this. Monica, you know the Knicks as well as they can be known.
Yeah.
So give us the first blush look at Knicks Cavs, which starts tomorrow night on ESPN.
The regular season was 2-1 in favor of the Knicks. Throw that out. Like, I think these are two very different teams than what we saw in the regular season. Just when you look at the players that are available for the Cavs, Max Strus didn't play in those games. James Harden had not been traded yet for most of those matchups. And then on the other end, this offense is vastly different for the New York Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson is available consistently. Remember, he was on that minutes restriction sort of cadence during the course of the regular season. So I'm really curious to see what this looks like. My first thought, similar to last series, I think the Knicks have been able to flaunt their depth this postseason. The Cavs have survived, to me, because of their depth before James Harden and Donovan Mitchell really arrived in firm fashion in this last series. So I just kind of think the Knicks, if I had to boil it down simply, I think the Knicks are the deeper team, and they are as talented, if not more talented.
And rested and home court advantage. Windy, pick it up from there. You're covering this series for us for ESPN. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so obviously the Cavs have a lot of offensive firepower. They are a top offensive team. They will be the best offensive team that the Knicks have seen so far in the postseason, although New York is very well equipped to guard them. The other side is where I think the rubber is going to meet the road. The Cavs have not been a strong defensive team in the second half of the season. They have their moments. They have individual strong defenders, but the Knicks have been awesome offensively for most of the season and supercharged since they got to the postseason. And one of the things that the Knicks are going to be able to do is force the Cavs to guard all 5 players and force Evan Mobley to come away from the basket, who's just a terrific basket defender and a secondary defender, to deal with Karl Towns playing in the high post. And the matchup that I want to circle is Jarrett Allen versus Mitchell Robinson. 3 years ago, they played in the playoffs. Frankly, Mitchell Robinson kicked Jarrett Allen's behind. And Allen sort of infamously said that the lights were brighter than he expected them to be. He's had a tough time living that down. He has been awesome in this postseason. The 2 Game 7s he's played for the Cavs have been terrific. He had a career playoff high 23 points last night. So it's going to be a different Jarrett Allen, but that scar tissue is going to be there. And Mitch Robinson is a huge X factor for the Knicks.
So what will decide the Eastern Conference Finals? There are a lot of different semantics and details of matchups and scouting report, but it's going to be Karl Anthony Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns has unlocked this offense. You think about why Karl Anthony Towns was able to unlock the offense, in particular against the 76ers, because Joel Embiid gave him a lot of space to be a passer without ball pressure over the top and a lot of off-ball movement. So how Evan Mobley or how Jarrett Allen pressure the ball at the top and take away those passing lanes, I think really could hinder the Knicks. Now, whether Karl Anthony Towns can make the right reads, I think it's going to come down to that over and over. He's made other players around him better. You want to call him Karl, Magic Johnson Towns, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Yeah.
He's been one of the main reasons why this offense has unlocked.
Yes. I think, to me, the differentiating factor, the opportunity there for OG Anunoby, which, to your point, is in tandem with Karl Anthony Towns being able to find him. But that, to me, if you cancel out your two All-Stars on each team, OG Anunoby is the next up, and he's had a great postseason as long as he's been healthy.
Look, here's the question. The question is, have the Knicks been tested? Right? Playing Philly and playing Atlanta, they were able to be their absolute best self following Game 3 of that series against Atlanta. They have not been tested competitively. Cleveland has been tested. Can Cleveland drag the Knicks into the mud and force the Knicks into their old bad habits?
You know what happened when you get tested?
What's that, Monica?
You get tired.
Oh.
And you got to play every other day. So I hear you. But I think the schedule, again, becomes a factor.
That's
really
there's
likes
no
the way-
excuse for the Knicks not to be in the NBA Finals.
Look, James Dolan said it on January 6th. We have to get to the NBA Finals this year. Karl Towns, Jalen Brunson, Mike Brown, the spotlight is on them.
And if not now, when? It could not have set up better. I would argue it could not possibly set up better. It's not to disrespect Cleveland, but the Knicks get home court advantage, which they otherwise would not have. Cavs had to play 7 games. Knicks have been, I don't know what they've been doing for 9 days, developing an entirely new identity if they feel like it. Anunoby is healthy. They got to be as ready as they can possibly be. And I would love to continue talking about it, but right now I insist we talk about golf.